Amazon với mức giá cực kỳ ưu đãi như đăng ký brand với USPTO, tuần theo Liên, tuần trên Scout, logistics và warehouse. Xem hình thông tin chi tiết dưới phần mô tả nhé.
Today, I'm going to give you guys my top strategies on how to prepare for Prime Day. And we're going to listen to 3 sellers out there who have been crushing it as Amazon sellers, and including one who is a 9-figure seller who had a 3,000% sales increase on Prime Day. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. If you're like me, maybe you were intimidated about learning how to do Amazon PPC. Or maybe you think you just don't have the hours and hours that it takes to download and sort through all of those sponsored ads reports that Amazon produces for you. Adtomic, for me, allowed me to learn PPC for the first time, and now I'm managing over 150 PPC campaigns across all of my accounts in only 2 hours a week. Find out how Adtomic can help you level up your PPC game. Visit h10.me/Adtomic for more information. That's h10.me/ADTOMIC. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. I am your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that's a completely BS-free, unscripted, and unrehearsed organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the e-commerce world. All right, guys, we've got a special episode today because we are getting ready for Prime Day. All right, so Prime Day is coming up, and for some sellers, this is one of the biggest days of sales for the year. So we obviously kind of want to know, what do we need to do to get ready for Prime Day, at least on the advertising and maybe keyword analytics side. What are the things that we can do in order to make sure we put our best foot forward? So I'm going to be giving you guys my top tips, and then later on in the show, we're going to invite 3 different sellers on here who are at different stages. We've got a 6-figure seller, a 7-figure seller, and a 9-figure seller. A couple of them were able to 530,000% X, 3,000% X their regular sales on Prime Day. One seller was actually down on Prime Day, so we're going to learn what mistake that he made and that he's going to correct this year so that you guys don't make that same mistake. But first, before we get into that, let's go ahead and get into my top strategies. How many people have brand registry? What does that mean? If you have brand registry, you have access to search query performance and brand analytics. Take a look at the screen at a couple of screenshots from there. Hopefully you guys, this is not the first time you're seeing it, because search query performance is amazing. All right. So what you can see with search query performance, I'm going to want you guys to go back and take a look back at the week. All right. So go back to either your brand or the ASIN level, as you can see on the screen, and you're going to go to the week of 2022, July 10th, all right, because that was the week that Prime Day was. And then you're going to sort this list of the keywords by search funnel purchases and sort it by ASIN count. What that number means is you now have a list in descending order of the keywords that generated sales during that week for Prime week. All right. You're going to be able to do that in brand analytics as well for your competitor. So in search query performance is mainly for your own products, but then take your top competitors, throw the ASIN into brand analytics, and then again, go to the week last year from when Prime Day was, and then see where were your competitors one of the top 3 clicked products during the week of Prime Day. Next strategy here, check for all of the keywords a product was ranking for. All right, so this is, if you're a Helium 10 member, you can see the difference here. Let me just go back a couple slides here. You can see the difference here of when you're looking at brand analytics and then when you're looking at Cerebro. Cerebro is taking a whole month of information, all right? So you want to look at the historical trend of Prime month instead of Prime week. Brand analytics, search query performance is going by week. In Cerebro, we're looking back in a month. So you're going to put July. Those of you who are elite members, you can do this. You want to go to July 2022, and this is going to show you all of the keywords that you and your competitors were showing up for in organic and sponsored ranks on average for the entire month of July. All right, you're going to want to take a list of those keywords. Next strategy, check your historic budget utilization. All right. So what you want to do, hopefully you were downloading your reports during Prime Day last year. For all of you who are newer sellers, hey, make sure to download your reports this year so you can have it, because you might not be able to see it in Seller Central going all the way back 1 year. All right, because you can only see usually a few months of information. So make sure to download your information. So if you did that, or right now, or what you're looking at now is a screenshot of Atomic, Helium-10 Atomic. And in Atomic, you can go back a year or even 2 years to see what was going on with your advertising. You can't do that in Seller Central. So what you want to do is, like right here are I put Atomic to the 2 days of Prime Day last year, and I could see that my budget on one of these campaigns was $30 a day. I only spent $50. What does that mean? That means I obviously didn't hit my budget on that campaign. But there's a couple other campaigns, as you can see here, that I clearly hit the budget, and we even went a tiny bit over the budget. So this is going to give you an idea about, hey, you know what? For these products or these campaigns, I better keep an eye on this. I might want to think about increasing my budget during Prime Day this year. Now, once you make that decision, you can actually make bulk changes to your budgets. Or maybe you're just like, you know what? I want to make sure I don't run out of budget on any of my campaigns. All my campaigns are super profitable. I just want to bulk change for Prime Day this year. So what you're going to do is right before Prime Day, all right, the day before Prime Day, you can go into Helium-10 Atomic and then select all the campaigns you want to increase your budget and select bulk actions. All right. And so just with a couple of clicks, you're going to be able to change all of your budgets. All right. You can do something very similar in Seller Central. That's in the advertising campaign manager right there on the right-hand side. There's an option where you can select multiple campaigns, and then you can do a bulk edit, adjust budget. Now, let's say you don't want to do it. You don't want to have to remember to turn off your budget. So all of those is going to change your budget. Like maybe you're doubling your budget, right? But after Prime Day, maybe you want to go back to what it was. If you don't want to have to do another bulk edit, well, maybe the tool that you can use is actually something in Amazon Advertising and Seller Central. It's a budget rules. This is fairly new. A lot of you might not have seen this before. But if you go into your budget rules and then select settings, you can actually schedule certain budgets. You can pick a custom date, or you can choose the date of Prime Day. You can also do this, during special holidays, like you can see there. You could have done this on Memorial Day as well. All right. So that's if you want to not have to worry about going back and changing your budget. But the only drawback on this is you can't do it in bulk. You have to do this kind of campaign by campaign. So there's pros and cons of each way. All right, let's keep going here with some more strategies. I showed you guys about the top performing keywords. I showed you guys about checking for the historical keyword ranks of a product. Now take a look at this one. You want to determine if your competitors were getting sales from organic or sponsored search. All right. So for example, this is what you want to do. Get your top competitors. All right. So hopefully you did the other steps first, right? So get one of your top competitors. Now go into Helium-10 Keyword Tracker and put their ASIN in your keyword tracker. A lot of people think keyword tracker is only for your own products. No. You can track any product on Amazon, yours or not, in keyword tracker, and then you can actually see the historical ranks. So remember in the previous steps, either through Amazon or through Helium-10, you're checking what keywords were driving sales for you and your competitors. Maybe you found that in Search Career Performance for you. Maybe you found it in Brand Analytics for your competitor. Maybe you found it for you or your competitor in Cerebro historical data. Add those keywords and their products into Keyword Tracker, and guess what? Even though you weren't tracking those keywords back then, guess what? We probably were. If this is a keyword that was at least viewed, had a search volume of like 1,000 or 3,000, we were probably tracking it even way before you. So what you're going to see is you're going to be able to go back in history in Keyword Tracker. You click on the graph, and then you click like all time or 1 year, and then zoom in at the very day level of Prime Day last year, guys. This is like, I hope your minds are being boggled right now, guys, because this is mind-boggling stuff of what you guys can do. I mean, people can't do this who do Facebook ads and stuff like that. It's not as easy as just like a couple of clicks like we've made it here. So you can see, where was their sales coming from? We already determined through our other steps, competitors were getting sales from these keywords. Was it from organic, sponsored, or both? Take a look at the top one there. I know it's hard to see if you have a small screen, but that was a keyword coffin shelf, and this is one of the competitors, right? You can see that they were getting sales from both placements. Look at that. They were organically positioned 1 and 2, and they were sponsored rank fluctuating between like 2. Pretty much they were 1 sponsored rank there as well. But take a look at the bottom keyword there. I did the same thing to this competitor's listing, and one of them, the coffin decor, they were at the top of page 1. So they're probably getting their sales from the organic rank, but look at their sponsored rank there. They were on page 2, so they were probably not getting any sales from sponsored rank. So this is going to give you some crazy amounts of visibility to understand exactly how your competitors were making sales from search. Was it from PPC? Was it organic? Was it both? All right, so super cool stuff here. Let's keep going. Find the keywords that converted for you in PPC last year. All right, take a look at the screen here. I have Atomic going. You're not going to be able to do this in Seller Central unless, like I said, hopefully you downloaded your reports last year. But if you were selling last year and you were using Atomic, go in there, set the date range of Prime Day, and find all of your profitable keywords. Like here, I put, hey, I want to look at the keywords that had less ACoS of less than 40% and had at least 1 PPC order. I'm just pretending that was my kind of like break even point, right? And then now instantly I'm going to see all of the keywords that drove sales in PPC for my product. And then what I'm going to want to do is I need to put these keywords into Keyword Tracker to make sure that I am ranking highly for these keywords still. All right. Now it's important that you get an early start. Like, whenever Prime Day is going to be, if your organic rank is low, you're not going to increase your organic rank in a couple days if you wait until then. All right. Start now with perhaps trying to increase your organic rank by having some aggressive PPC to hopefully get your organic rank up so that by Prime Day, you're already there at the top of the page. Only a couple more strategies here, and then we're going to have some cool interviews. But another Helium 10 tool is inventory heat maps. All right. And sales heat maps. So go into Helium 10. Go into the profits tool, and then under inventory heat maps or under heat maps, go to the inventory or the sales one. I'm sorry. Go to sales heat maps. Go to the Prime days of last year, in July of last year, and take a look at where your sales were. Look at that top screenshot there. That was one of the coffin shelves, and you can kind of see those bigger circles are showing where the sales were at the time, all right, where my heavy duty sales were. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at your inventory heat maps now and make sure you have enough inventory distribution. I'm looking here and I had a lot of sales last year in the Washington area. You guys see that there in the Northwest? But look now, I barely have any inventory in Washington. So I'm probably going to want to send more inventory to Amazon and hope that they're going to distribute it a little bit more. So this is another thing that you can be doing in the weeks leading up to Prime Day to make sure you have enough inventory distributed around. Another one you can do is check your competitor price history. Like, did they lower their regular price or did they have a sale price going during Prime Day? You can actually do that. Go to any of your competitor listings, and then with that Helium 10 chart right there that has a history of their prices, what I want you to do is you're going to click on 1 year or all time, and then take a look at Prime Day last year. Go to July of last year, and then you could see, look at this customer, look at this coffin shelf. They lowered their price down. It looks like $3. They lowered their price $3 down during Prime Day. So now I'm like, you know what? Maybe they're going to do that this year. I kind of have a heads up on what their strategy might be. And I can at least have a few days to think about, what about me? Do I want to have a similar strategy? Should I lower my price $3? You have this visibility on even your competitor's price history. Next one here is check your cost per click and keyword ranks on your main keywords before Prime Day last year. All right. Let me say that again. before Prime Day. So now the next step after I do that and I write down those numbers, take a look. Now do the cost per click and keyword ranks on those main keywords during Prime Day. So look at that date above. I changed it to July 12th and July 13th of last year, and take a look. Those bids are 66 cents and 68 cents. So now I know that, you know what? During Prime Day, my cost per click actually went up a little bit more than 10%. All right. So now I'm wondering, well, wait a minute, did I lose keyword rank or did I maintain keyword rank? Right there at the bottom, I maintained sponsored rank number one. So with this information, if I was selling last year in Prime Day, now I know, all right, for this year, I'm going to need to potentially make sure that I have enough room in my cost per click and my target price to allow for a 10% increase in cost per click so that I don't lose my organic rank. All right, so there's another tip.
Anh chị đang bán hàng trên Amazon. Skyrock cung cấp các dịch vụ dành cho các nhà bán hàng trên Amazon với mức giá cực kỳ ưu đãi như đăng ký brand với USPTO, từ Thailand, từ chơi Scout, logistics và warehouse. Xem hình thông tin chi tiết dưới phần mô tả nhé.
So now, guys, we've got a special treat. We've got some real life sellers. You know, these are not professionals. These are not Helium 10 employees here. You know, these are not service providers, you know, trying to get your money. We've got some real life sellers here. So let's go ahead and invite them to the stage now. Nate, Ksenia, and Mike. Nate, how long has your company been selling online, and what's your company?
I'm with Solo Stove. We've been online for about 13 years. Myself, I've been in the Amazon space for a little over 5 years.
Awesome. Now, before, I hadn't really heard of Solo Stove. I probably had, but I just didn't register. But it's funny, after I started finding out about Solo Stove, I was telling this story the other day. I was looking at my American Express credit card portal, and it gives like special deals on like Reebok and Nike and Disney and stuff like that. Like, hey, activate this deal and you can get extra points for your Hilton credit card, blah, blah, blah. Well, the other day it was Solo Stove on there. So I'm like, man, Solo Stove is legit. You know, Solo Stove is definitely a legit brand if they're coming up in my American Express offers. All right. Next up, that new face to us here is Mike. Mike, go ahead and introduce yourself and how long has your company been selling online?
Hey, I'm Mike. I'm with Hemlock Park, and we've been selling for just about 3 years now on Amazon. And we hand make organic candles in-house and do everything in-house. The team of 5 people.
I love it. Super unique, making stuff in-house here in the USA. And then just in case nobody has seen her podcast before, Ksenia, same question for you. How long have you been selling online?
I've been in commerce for 4 years, I think, and the 2 years with the current brand.
Okay, awesome. Now going back to Nate, you know, like I kind of gave a little bit of a tease that you guys are not exactly newer sellers. You're a heavy duty company. What's your approximate gross revenue yearly, and which marketplaces are you selling?
We are a worldwide 9-figure business. And so domestically, outside of our website, marketplaces are Walmart and Amazon domestically. Then we have a handful of other marketplaces in Europe.
Excellent. 9 figures, guys. That was not. I know. You know, I'm in the Czech Republic right now in this hotel that has bad internet and things are glitching a little bit. That wasn't a glitch right there. You heard that right. 9 figures. That is amazing. Let's go to Mike. Same question for you. What's your approximate gross revenue yearly, and in which marketplace are you selling in?
We're doing 7 figures. We've had 2x growth year over year for the past 3 years. So hopefully that keeps on going. And we're on Amazon, and then also Fair Wholesale, which is a wholesale distribution marketplace. And then those are the 2.
Awesome. Now, Ksenia, what about you? For those who Letitia probably knows, but for those who didn't hear your podcast, what's your approximate or gross revenue, and are you only selling in Amazon USA?
Only Amazon US and Canada, and I was very close to 7 figures last year.
Awesome. Definitely, you're gonna have faith that you're gonna hit it this year. Now, Nate, I think from the company name we can kind of figure out what kind of products you sell, but what are some of your top sellers?
Our flagship products are smokeless fire pits, which we offer in 3 different sizes. And then most recently, we have a tabletop fire pit that's good for like s'mores, marshmallow roasting for the kids.
I'd imagine that leading up to like Memorial Day, 4th of July, like those kind of holidays, you get some spike in sales?
We get a pretty good spike Memorial Day for sure. We'll get a little bit in July, though, because a lot of our product is kind of springtime related. Most of our sales actually happen Q2, Q4, and then Q3 is relatively dead. So Prime Day is a big deal for us because it keeps us alive in July.
Yeah, I bet if we looked at their sales heat maps, I was showing you guys, maybe during December might be a little bit rough in those winter in those states where there's rough winters. Now, Mike, you are in Nevada, I think. They don't know nothing about rough winters out there, but then again, I'm not sure. Parts of Nevada, I guess, gets cold. But you said you make candles in house. So like, how in the world did you start that? Like, was this a hobby before? Like, I'm thinking of what was the girlfriend on The Office? How she tried to do her own candle making business.
Yeah, it totally was a hobby at first, and I just wanted to make all natural products. I used to make them for myself and as gifts, and then a friend said, like, do the farmers market with me, and I was like, all right. And then when the pandemic hit and I got laid off, I was like, maybe I can turn this into an actual business. So that was only 2.5 years ago, and now we're doing 7 figures. So that's been amazing. It's been an amazing experience.
That is absolutely awesome. Very inspiring. Like, you don't have to worry about things getting stuck in customs and new import, taxes, because you're making the stuff in house, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Now, Ksenia, like, last year, thinking back to 2022 Prime Day, how did your brand do in Prime Day? Like, maybe like if you were to take your daily average before Prime Day and then what Prime Day actually was, what was the comparison?
It was about 5x the normal daily revenue, I would say.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Would you say that was successful, or you think you could have even done better, or what?
Well, it was the first Prime Day with that brand, so I think yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's pretty impressive. 5x. So those are, again, going back to all the 50% of the people on this call who said this might be their first Prime Day. We're not trying to say, hey, anything less than 5x is going to be a failure, but just to show you the potential of what could happen on a Prime Day for you. What about let's just go reverse circle here. Back to Mike. What about you? What was your Prime Day? How was it leading up? And then what did Prime Day end up being for you?
I would say last Prime Day, I would have been happy with even 2x, but we're actually down 20% based off of an average day. And we realized that we did everything right except for not making the right deal. We were only 10% off, and that was our offer. We had all our PPCs and campaigns, and everything was in place, but our deal was only 10% off, and our competitors were 40% off. And it was our first one, so the learning experience. And we're like, your deal is only as good as your actual deal. So that's what we learned. So this year we'll be 40% off to compete with everyone else. And I think it's going to be good.
There you go, guys. Like I said, you guys know how we do it on the podcast too. We keep it real. It's not just all rainbows and unicorns here. So we got somebody said that she was 5x up, and then we have Mike who was actually down. So again, that could happen. And so what's important though is Mike didn't just give up and say, all right, I'm done with Amazon. I had a disastrous Prime Day. He clearly was able to do the research and see why and determine why he was down. And now he's pretty much ready to go for this year. What about you guys? Nate, how was your Prime Day compared to the days leading up?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Our lead up time, so the lead up time and the lead out time versus Prime Day, we saw about a 3,000% or 30x on Prime Day itself.
All right, guys. You see, we just got nonstop things where you must be thinking Nate's glitching here, but that was not a glitch. He literally said 30, 30 for you who speak Spanish there, sanju for you if you speak Japanese. I don't know how to say it in Korean. Something or other. But anyways, he said 30, guys. 30 times. That I just can't even wrap my head around that. So like what was the one thing that, like, why? Like was it your deals, or does your competitors not know how to do Prime Day, or how in the world can a brand who's already big go 30x on Prime Day?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a number of different factors that play into it, right? Obviously, we have a relatively high organic search ranking. So because of the product, because of the fan base that we already have, it's a product that people are looking for. On top of that, we give the second best deal of the year on Prime Day versus Black Friday. And so major discounts, and then just a really good PR campaign off Amazon, just to make sure that the word gets out and there's an opportunity to buy some of our most popular products. On top of that, a really robust advertising strategy.
Awesome. Now, what about you, Mike? You talked a little bit about what didn't work. Was there anything? Was it only the deals, or did you kind of like in retrospect say you want to do something different on the advertising side at all, or inventory side? Was there anything else, or pretty much just that deal is going to make the difference for you this year?
Yeah, I think it was really the deal. Like if it's only like really we were next to all these ads that were like 40, 50, 60% off and ours was 10. Like honestly, like no one was going to buy ours if they're looking for a deal. So I feel like that really killed it from the start. It was like a non-starter basically.
Yeah.
So this year, that's what we've learned from. And there's been other times that like Mother's Day and Q4 is our best times. And we're like, what can we take away from those really hot times for us and apply it to Prime Day? So that's kind of what we're using, and kind of like what you mentioned in your presentation about identifying those keywords historically that were good and using those for Prime Day.
Okay. What about you, Ksenia? Like what do you think was some of the biggest factors in the you being able to get up to 5x?
So I'm in a very small niche. So what worked for me is I had about 20% off coupon. And I would say probably 2 weeks before the Prime Day, I was trying to rank in the maximum amount of keywords. So on the Prime Day, I can utilize the organic ranking and not overspend on PPC, because everybody knows that the bids are much more expensive on the Prime Day itself. So that worked for me.
Awesome. Now, it's going back to Nate now. How you guys use, that's why I'm wearing my Atomic. This is actually not Atomic. This looks like the Atomic. It's actually a minor league baseball team from Albuquerque, but it looks like really close to our Atomic logo. So I decided to wear this hat. But how are you guys, Nate, there at Solo Stove, leveraging Atomic for advertising, just in general? And then what are you going to be doing in it for Prime Day prep?
So in general, we leverage Atomic quite a bit for search term analysis, monitoring our ranking for our core keywords, and then identifying top performing campaign strategies in the market there. In addition to how we're going to be preparing for it for Prime Day, the big piece this year is going to be making sure that we have budget rules in place so that we have healthy budgets. We're not running out of anything, just because we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of every piece of traffic possible during the day.
Okay, cool. And Mike, you also use Atomic. What have you been using it for lately, and what's your plans for Prime Day?
I think my two most useful uses are automating keywords, like identifying keywords, and also the big one for us is adjusting campaign budgets. We have over 1,000 live campaigns, and I'm the only one that manages it. So with Atomic, I'm able to semi-automate that to keep our ad costs around 20%. Without that, I was spending like 15, 20 hours a week doing it manually, which is insane. So
you yourself, were you the one in charge
myself,
for
yes.
PPC? Oh my.
Yes.
That's when it becomes more real for sure.
So that was the game changer for me. After I discovered how to use that, I was like, wow. So that was huge for me. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. So that's cool. We got a 7-figure seller, we got a 9-figure seller using Atomic, and we've got smaller and bigger and in the middle sellers too using Atomic. I myself use Atomic. I'm only a 6-figure seller these days because I've been letting some of my accounts slip. People aren't as interested in coffin shelves, I guess, as before. But I digress. What about you, Ksenia? What is your plan for advertising and promotion this year? Now that you had a successful Prime Day last year, you kind of know what worked and didn't work. What's your game plan for this year for either PPC or sales or coupons, stuff like that?
Well, I think I'm going to do the same thing as I did last year because it worked. But in addition to that, I'm also updating the images and the A+ content. So I'm making sure that listing actually converts the most that I can get.
Excellent. Do you have premium A plus content yet, or do you just have the regular A plus content?
Yes, that's another thing I'm working on right now.
Okay. Well, what's your like? Are you going to do video at all, or just like
I already have videos. Yes, I have videos for each of my ASINs. I have videos, but yes, I just got access to the premium A plus. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Nate, what's your game plan this year? I mean, a huge brand like you, like we could just do a whole show probably on it, but give me some highlights of what you think is really going to pay dividends for you this year for Prime Day.
So again, around ads, we're looking at the historics of last year. And just making sure that we're identifying the keywords that worked well. We're also going to be adding more Prime specific campaigns related to deals, clearance, sale, basically things that historically people have searched for on Prime Day, just like you showed earlier.
Mike, same question for you. Game plan.
So like I said, I'm going to be competitive with my actual discounts and lightning deals and deal of the day. And I think in addition to that, like identifying the keywords that performed last year, just putting those all into action and increasing our ad spend about 10% over an average day. Okay.
Excellent. All right. So this is some strong game plans here now. So my last question, Ksenia knows all about at the very end of podcasts. I ask for a 30-second or 60-second tip. So do you have any general tips or a 30-second tip, or take all the time you need, Ksenia? What's your strategy that you can leave with or the audience with for, could be about Prime Day, could be about advertising in general, anything you want?
Well, everybody kept talking today about, the competitive price and the PPC, but I would also add to just pay attention to optimizing the listing in terms of A plus video and images. So making sure you will take the maximum advantage of the Prime Day traffic so your listing converts. I would like to add that.
All right, Nate, what's your tip of the day?
I've worked with dozens of very large brands and smaller brands over the years with Prime Day and Amazon in general. And Prime Day is a very special day. You're not going to get traffic like Prime Day pretty much any other day of the year outside of maybe Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And so my tip is always obviously do what's best for your business, but do as good of a deal as you can to separate yourself from your competition. And then take advantage of the free pieces that Amazon uses that Brett announced earlier, like posts, Amazon Live, feeds, things like that. Do everything that you can to utilize every tool to your power to capitalize on the traffic in that day.
Now, no pressure, but I saved the best for last here to Mike, because I pretty much am going to go on record and guarantee that of these three, the one who's going to do the best on Prime Day compared to Prime Day last year is going to be Mike, because Ksenia was already at 5x. I don't know how you can improve 30x, but negative 20%. You're going to be the winner this time, Mike, because you're going to turn that around into a. All right, Mike. So what's your strategy for the winner of the best and most improved player on Prime Day? What's his strategy?
My strategy is, I guess, an advice is to apply for those lightning deal of the day as soon as you can. Like I did it like 3 months ago. I think it's too late to do it now. And once it's accepted, if you have an account manager at Amazon, to get it pitched to be promoted on like a featured deal on Amazon, I think that would be huge. And if you're going to do Prime Day, to make the most of it and go all in and do every possible program and offer they have.
When you say rep, do you have like a SaaS core rep, or which kind of account manager do you have?
Yes, I have 3: SaaS, Launchpad, and Handmade. So pretty much anything we qualify for, we're doing it.
I love it. All right, cool. All right, guys. So, we can maybe look for Mike's products and Nate's products. Check out their Prime Day deals. We already know that they're going to be doing some discounts on there. Look out for a 30 or 40% discount, I guess, on Mike's if you want some nice smelling candles that are made in the USA. And then if you need some stoves for grilling this summer, or some grills, I can't. I was about to say some grills for stoving. No, that's my dyslexia there. But anyways, buy some Solo Stove too, and you get some American Express points to add it. But Ksenia, Nate, and Mike, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your knowledge. I love bringing just regular Amazon sales. You guys are not here to sell anything. You have no agenda. You're very generous for coming on here and spending your time and sharing your secrets, your wins and losses. And so we are very appreciative of that. And thank you guys, and wish you the best success for Prime Day.
Anh chị đang bán hàng trên Amazon, Skyrock cung cấp các dịch vụ dành cho các nhà bán hàng trên Amazon với mức giá cực kỳ ưu đãi như đăng ký brand với USPTO, từ Liên, theo, từ chuyên Scout, logistics và warehouse. Xem thêm thông tin chi tiết dưới phần mô tả nhé.